Thank you, my friend G.T. Thompson, for allowing me actually to speak about what's happening in terms of USDA, the Department of Agriculture, and all the food programs in the island in terms of disaster. As you were explaining, how these programs works with the disaster. As we speak, Puerto Rico still got 60% of the island without power. As we speak, less than 20% of our island is having actually running water. Problems with communications. So you will never. The first thing people will say is lack of electricity, and they will say the lack of a proper home. When you got more than 60,000 homes that just lost their roof or even are having a lot of damages. So in that regard, the nutritional assistance provided by the U.S. Department of Agriculture for disaster relief in Puerto Rico has been indispensable. It's been important, and actually the continuous communication the government of Puerto Rico is having with the Department of Agriculture has been the first time, I think, during a disaster in this magnitude. One of the we are leaving the 49th day after the hurricane. To make matters worse for most of our people, the lack of power, the lack of water, it's just a fraction of the issues. I mean, we still got a lot of schools that haven't returned to impart classes. So that means that you got a lot of kids in their homes without going to school, and several structural damages in the homes, businesses, communities all around the island, and the amount of flooding, roads and bridges that got serious damage or lack of functionality. It's staggering at this time. So the nutritional assistance was a concern since before the hurricanes, and I need to say that I appreciate Secretary Perdue having a call with me and different conference calls regarding different programs. First of all, of 9 of the 11 programs for disaster in the Department of Agriculture, in terms of the farmers, the territories will never apply because we are not, in fact, allowed to apply. And he made it happen. He used flexibility to allow Puerto Rico to access those programs in terms of the farmer disaster assistance. And I appreciate that. And that happens also with the USDA programs. And USDA officials have been in contact directly, not just with my office, but with the governor of Puerto Rico, with the local officials. Since early on, this problem was hitting the island. As a matter of fact, I was in touch today with them regarding a lot of the problems, and I am also pleased with the inclusion of the disaster assistance for Puerto Rican nutritional assistance program in the second supplemental bill for the disaster relief that was approved here. However, we still need, of course, a lot of help. And we still know that there's a long way to recover ahead of us. And most of this challenge we are facing now are because of the lack of power, the lack of electricity. Our people are struggling due to not having access to their nutritional assistance benefits, because there are still many stores and retail stores that remain without power, and they cannot process the benefits through the electronic benefit system. If the benefits are not used, in the case of Puerto Rico, for a 60-day period, they're going to be removed from individual accounts and then returned to the nutritional assistance program. So that's one of the issues. We're still working with the department, and American citizens losing access to funds allocated for them to mitigate food necessities. And I would like to encourage the Department of Agriculture to take these difficulties into consideration and explore more avenues for remedial action, because I know nobody expected an island or a territory to be after 49 days without power. My people are helpless against the lack of electricity, yet they stand to suffer greatly because of it. Additionally, the government of Puerto Rico had to request 2 hot food waivers to allow the purchase of hot foods using nutritional assistance program benefits. The first one was graciously approved by Secretary, and I hope the second one that was already being received be also accommodated. And saying that, I will want to thank personally Secretary Perdue and all the people working with FNS, USDA, and the Department of Agriculture that have been visiting the island, dealing with farmers, dealing with the local officials. And of course, I just request that since the agency remains sensitive to the challenges 3.4 million American citizens are facing in the island. And for that, I am thankful, I'm grateful, and thank you, Congressman Thompson, for allowing me to be here. And I know this is not the first time you're actually fighting for this. You've been a long leader in that regard, and I want to join you in that effort. Thank you.